it. So this is number 47, chapter 14. Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat swanushtitat स्वभावनियतम कर्म कुर्वन नापनोति किल्बिषम। अच्छी प्रकार आचरण किए हुए दूसरे के धर्म से गुण रहित भी अपना धर्म श्रेष्ठ है, क्योंकि स्वभाव से नियत किए हुए स्वधर्म रूप को कर्म को करता हुआ मनुष्य पाप को नहीं प्राप्त होता। So here dharma, he doesn't mean, in fact dharma never means like the Hindu dharma or Christian dharma or Muslim dharma. Dharma is the inherent quality, what I am made of, the intrinsic nature. Just wherever, however I am, that's my dharma. For example, the dharma of heat is like there is temperature, it is hot. Simple as that. The dharma of fire is heat. Dharma of water is cool. Dharma of wind is to blow. Dharma of akash, space, is to expand continuously. No matter however many houses you build or planets hang, it's not going. It will continue to create space. Space will continue to give space, create. The dharma of sun is to shine, because they're just those inherent internal settings. The original setting is what dharma means. And so what he's saying, like shreyan swadharmo viguna. Shreya is better, far better, superior. Swadharma, however I'm calibrated, whatever I'm natural at, whatever I'm good at, naturally, that's superior than trying to imitate someone else's dharma. Well, they do day trading, they do stock, so I'm going to start day trading also. Well, that might lead to a lot of anxiety or a lot of frustration if I don't have the stomach for it, or if I don't have the discipline or the diligence or the hard work or all of that. And on the contrary, if they try to do what I do, it could be the other way also. But if I understand my real nature is not to hoard, my original nature is not, the setting is not to actually have a lot more, it is only to be content in having as much as I need, then I already have it, and therefore I am going to serve where I've been put. I am going to do what I like to do, what I'm good at doing, and what I have fun doing. The 2-3 ways of knowing what gets me close to my setting. Am I having fun doing it? Fun is important. Fun is not just frivolous. Fun is inherent. Sat chit ananda hai na, sat chidananda swabhav hai. Fun is ananda, the joy, the goodness, the love. Am I having fun doing it, or is it just so boring? Yeah, I can do it, but I hate it. Then it's a red flag. The system is telling me then that maybe this isn't like close to my original setting. Do I like it? Am I good at it? So if you look at these three, and somewhere between these three, if I sort of gravitate towards what makes sense, whether or not that makes me a millionaire or a very famous or gives me a lot of power, whether or not any of that, but it's fun, I like it, and I'm good at it, then I'm closer, maybe not perfectly, but I'm closer to my original setting. And so he's saying that otherwise, vigunat paradharma, there is anxiety in imitation, there is frustration, and there is insecurity above all. The people who try to do something else that they're not good at, or that's not their original nature, the inner insecurity is always there, and therefore externally they're always trying to prove that they're just as good, they're just as pretty, they're just as big, they're just as famous, they have just as much. They're constantly, and therefore that anxiety-driven mindset, versus those who are content with what they have a very different way of showing up as well. So that's sort of the thought behind it. Shreyan swadharmo vigunat paradharmat anushtitat swabhavaniyatam karmam kurvan napnoti kilvisham. Swabhavaniyatam, the natural setting where whatever I have been endowed with, the gift that I've been given. Some people have a very natural way to be able to dance from birth. Like they can learn to dance very easily and they perform superbly, like the one here. And now some just are gifted with very sweet voice, like Madhvi would. She didn't have any training and didn't go to any school or anything. That's my wife today in Seattle. But gifted with it. And that's a natural endowment. Someone can speak eloquently. Someone can meditate for long hours. Someone is a great sports person. They grew up poor. There are so many cricketers in India. Like it's okay. They didn't have a lot of training or anything, but just they had the brain and the brawl and the perfect timing, and that they just keep, even including Gavaskar or Kapil Dev or any of those or others. So some are very brave, some are just brilliant when they start speaking, some are just fantastically clever, intelligent, and the invention, the discoveries. So that's swabhava niyatam karma. When I align with what's naturally I'm endowed with, what's naturally gifted to me, rather than wasting my time trying to search for what should I do or imitating others or following others' advice, if I use some of that time to go inward and search for what do I like to do, what am I good at, what gifts have I brought. There isn't a soul born to not come with special gifts. Everybody has a strength to share. If I take some time to find out what is my strength, what is my special sauce that I bring, and if I align with it, swadbhava niyatam karma kurvan napanoti kilbisham. Kurvan napanoti, while performing that, na kilbisham. Kilbish is mud, dirt. Then that soul does not accumulate any dirt, because that nut bolt on the hubcap, the exact same dimension, it was supposed to be there. But if that nut bolt insists, no, but I want to be inside the cabin in the AC where everybody knows I'm shining there. I don't want to be here outside in the dirt. I want to be inside. Well, but you don't fit there. You don't belong there. If you still insist, and if it is put there, the roof might fall, the bulb might fall. Eventually somebody's going to take you out and throw you and replace you because you insisted. If you stayed there, then you're performing your task perfectly. You're keeping that hubcap and the wheel very secure, and thousands of miles the vehicle is gone, and you appreciate it, rewarded, like nobody knows that, but you are set in. So the wheel in its place, the steering in its place, the machinery, the entire machinery, every little part has its specific exact place. And when they are plugged there is when they are performing the best. And when they insist that no, but I don't like this, I want to be that, I want to be there, then it's out of sync, and it's going to be distorted and disturbed and eventually degrade. And that's the kilbish. That's like the dirt will accumulate of all sorts, and then eventually being discarded as well. And so when I figure this out, and when I realize that the system around me that I am a part of, I am not separate from the system, I am part of the system, has put me here to do this role for a specific reason, and I'm happy with it, I'm okay with it, I'm going to align with it and do my best, then that is karma yoga. Then there is no karma bondage. Karma bandhan कहते हैं ना, कर्म का लेखा जोखा करना ही पड़ेगा, karma will always have repercussions, what action, every action has reaction. He says these actions do not have reactions, because I am naturally flowing with it. And then it's not my personal karma, it's the karmic system, it's the systemic karma that I'm part of. I'm not owning it, I'm not trying to tamper with it. Does that make sense? But when I tamper with this system where I'm going to put up, the God says, okay, cure him. Just usne wo minister ko he said, I'll cure him. Okay. Now own it. And so therefore, when I don't own it and I go very naturally, then I can remain clean while performing every task that comes my way without the fear of any kind of bondage and without the repercussions or without the reactions of any action that I take. It's not easy, but it is possible. It's obviously not easy, but this is not impossible. It is possible. The more we invest in it, the more we're committed to it, the more clarity that we have, the more we think about it, the more we internalize it, the more we make this our own, the more I personalize it, the easier it becomes. And that requires time, that requires commitment, that requires conditioning. That's why we have to make the choices that we do. If I condition myself, if I make these kinds of choices, if I want to stay in the lanes of the Gita, then it'll probably become easier for me. But if I veer off and do all kinds of, like I read this and I read that and sub masala, then maybe a little, sometimes yes, sometimes no. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. That's why the 8.4 million lifetimes, like maybe one of those will pan out, hit or miss. But I can get the job done in this lifetime. I can finish the journey in this lifetime if I stick to this lane that I've been put in on. If I follow, if I trust, and if I keep driving in straight, like a straight arrow, that I can. So that's the idea behind this shloka. We'll pick up next time in 48, in which essentially he encourages Arjun that so जो सहज कर्म है सहज कर्म अपि सहजम कर्म अपि कौन्तेय सदोषम अपि न त्यजेत. Like all chores, all tasks, he says in the second verse of that, and we'll decode it more next time, has something wrong with, is messed up. Essentially, Krishna is saying everything is messed up here. Every job, every work, every role, there's problems in every role. There's problems with every company. There's problems with every minister, government, private. This is a problem world. So it's okay. Don't pay attention to the problem because there isn't one role or job or title or company or whatever job that doesn't have problem. No matter what you do, no matter where you are, there's a problem. But the ones that are sahaj ayuha, we'll talk about what does sahaj mean next time, that are naturally endowed, those are also, even the sadoshamapi, they are also not flawless. Your sahaj role is also with flaws, but do not discard those. And so it was a message for Arjun that you're a warrior. This is, you've naturally been brought to the battlefield. You cannot discard this. It is with faults because you're going to have to kill people. And that's a really big fault there. But this is natural for you as a kshatriya, as a prince, as a warrior, all that. And you cannot, you should not, or not to do, because that's when the wrong and the bad will happen, when you give this, when you quit your natural duty. He didn't say that to any Brahmins at the time. Krishna wasn't saying to other Brahmins. In fact, Brahmins should not have. Dronacharya was a Brahmin. Krupacharya was a Brahmin. Both of them were fighting from Duryodhana's side. They both had to, and they should not have, but they chose to. And so they left their Brahman dharma and they adopted Kshatriya dharma under their concocted ideas. Oh, no, but I'm supporter of this king or that, therefore I must. And so it was a wrongly concocted idea about dharma, because everybody has their own dharma as well. So that's, we will shed more light on that. That's where we'll stop here today. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.